Recording in progress.
Ooh, we matched that one like right as it went off. It's good. Um, so we're back at the table. Good to see you all. Um, yeah, I think so far this is our fourth episode. Still kind of crawling through a section of the caverns and caves of Scophos, um, and the party last fought a Minotaur horde, or at least a group of them that were marauding through the caverns. This brought the group next to. They were able to take that instant fortress, shrink it down, put it in their bag, move on. Where they traveled for many more hours, coming to this rift that they were able to fly over or get through without incident. And on the other side of that rift of this huge kind of cavern is this rock that looks like the opening of a bull or a minotaur's head, like a mouth. Looks like a natural formation that almost naturally looks like it could be a minotaur, with the way the rock formations kind of curve out of the mountain. And on that side are all these pikes with human and gnoll heads stacked on them, and then there was like a pile of heads. So clearly Minotaur territory. And as you approach, I think Nazari out pops from behind this pile of heads. You can hear something or someone rifling through them. It turns out to be this gnoll-like creature, and and that's kind of where we ended. Did not have any weapons out. I know you see the miniature there. The gnoll introduces itself as Gash. It speaks a very broken common, and it's doesn't have any outward weapons on display. I use this kind of picture behind me to kind of share that what it looks like. The only major difference from this is where you see the slash on its eye. That it's a really heavy. It's like where the bruise, the wound had healed over to where this clearly closed the eye, and it's kind of almost like keloided over. And the hair is removed from, so just that one glassy eye is still is available to the creature. And it seems to be, whereas you've seen these gnolls before, very outwardly aggressive, just like the minotaurs. It's like kind of on site with their aggression. This gnoll's demeanor, its shoulders are dropped low, glances cautiously around as it's picking up the heads, and its filthy body kind of covered in tatters, and its blood-crusted armor. It looks over to you with that one good eye, and like you said, that massive scar tissue, and it speaks, and it says, "Powerful masters." It kind of whines. You honor us with your presence. Seek passage through the maze, as it kind of barks. Every few words kind of giving out a bit of a chuckle, being like a hyena. The spiral break. What's that?
I'm, I was going to ask for an insight check, but when you're ready, I'm
When I
sorry.
dig, yep. And so just says that if you seek passage through the Horn King, through this section of the maze, it says trust Gash, that Gash will see you through the maze. He will. And that's kind of where we left off in terms of a recap. So yes, of course, when we pick up here, you can immediately go for that insight check. But is there anything else just before, because that's right where we left off? Anything else you guys want to add to that? And then we'll jump right in. Okay.
And I was like,
and surrender.
I was kind of Nazario was kneeling, like kind of reaching out to the creature last time, I believe, too, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. So just want to see if he's being honest. Looks like friendly. I'm not looking to use him or anything. I just want to be nice.
Okay. And so we'll, in a very simple fashion, we'll pick back up with where we left off here, with this gnoll in this dark cavern, in this space that leads further into the labyrinth. As Doth tells it to surrender. He goes, poor and gaseous. He kind of shows his hands, drops like whatever, like it happens to be rifling through the heads, and then as it's talking, it picks up a cup, and when Doth says surrender, it somehow this like there's probably like while there's heads in there, there's pieces of other things that came off of other maybe Venturers, marauders, other things that were killed, or orcs, other minotaurs, and so forth. And so this cup is a metal cup, and it kind of looks like on the front of it has a face of almost like the face of a devil. It looks like a grimace on the cup, and he looks up at like, what is that? And it's kind of dirty and filthy, and there's two little blue crystal eyes on the cup. And Gash just kind of tosses it. Kind of drops it when Doth says, surrender. And it just kind of clanks against the ground. And he shows his hand like, Gash means no harm. And then Nazari's hand is out. He kind of doesn't want to reach out to you, doesn't want to get hit by Doth, but kind of noses out towards Nazari.
I'm sorry, Doth, but Nazari kind of took a bit of that leg he was holding last time when he wanted to offer to the other creature, and I'm just gonna take like the slab out and just cut a little bit off like Kenobi. Yeah.
All right. Can I have an insight? You wanted an insight check, so I'm gonna go ahead.
I wanted to see if he was being honest, and I was gonna hold the food just to gift him. Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, first nat 20 of the game. You suspect, Nazari, that you're not foolish enough to trust this creature. You suspect deception in his words, but you also with that nat 20, you're also keen enough to know that he is fearful. So he's lying. There's some deception, not completely lying. But the reason he's doing it seems to be self-preservation.
Okay. I'm going to continue. I'm just going to put the food on the ground, and I'm going to take a few steps back.
And then he kind of looks like, for me?
You can have it. It's all for you.
And you tell it doesn't look like he's used to anyone giving him anything, right? So he picks up the piece of meat, sniffs over it. See if there's, he's wondering if maybe you poisoned it. He snaps into his mouth, and like, there's almost no chewing. Swallows it.
And I'm going to turn to Doth, and I'm going to be like, what do you think? I have more. Maybe.
I think we should bind him, gag him, and be on our way.
Don't bind gag, Gash. Why? I can help.
I don't think you're going to hurt us, Doth.
You're a fool.
What? Dude, look at him. What is he going to do to us?
All right.
Look at Galax. He looks pretty harmless most of the time. Until he isn't.
Who's your master?
Huh?
Who is your master?
The Minotaurs in this area.
Who specifically is your master?
There is no one that leads me. All of
Who
them.
do you fear the most?
The big one. I don't know his name. But they called him the Alpha. He kind of like barks that out. They left some time ago. They are not here now. This is probably the safest time to travel the labyrinth. And he kind of starts to feel that. Doth, I don't want to lead you. So are you? I imagine you're intimidating anyway. He's already scared of Minotaurs. You are a Minotaur. You have a skull mask on. Do you think that in the way you're kind of like you're intimidating this figure as quickly as much as possible?
He's trying to.
Can I have an intimidation check at advantage?
Well, I can be intimidating. My character may not be so much.
You get advantage. And I'm kind of going off of this because I revealed a lot because of the nat 20. So, kind of going with the flow of what Nazari has revealed here.
Yeah, I got a natural 20 -1 for 19.
Oh my god. That 20 still a nat 20. So in my book, I know it's still a 19, but I kind of treat it as such. So you're now reading that he's lying, and you're asking the appropriate questions. And he falls down on his face, and he goes, looking around. He goes, okay, you are not the type. I do not. I fear you as much as I fear them. Clearly, you are great warriors. Gash is supposed to lead others into the labyrinth, to be ambushed. But I don't do it because I want to. I do it because I must. I do it to survive. But Nazari knows. But Gash knows another way. But I don't. But if I take you that way to wherever you want to go, then Gash is going to die at the hands of the Minotaurs, and if I take you this way, you will probably kill Gash. So Gash dies anyway. Is there a way? Can you help Gash? Can you lead Gash to freedom? If so, I tell you a way where you'll be safe. No Minotaur will find you.
Come on, Doc. Look at him. His eye is adorable.
I've come here with the specific purpose of starting a war, not making friends.
Oh. No friend. Just help. Mutual help. Help you. You help me. Gash go separate ways once I'm out of Scophos. Gash don't want to be in Scophos anymore.
I think I understand, Gash. How you? In my home, I was a bit of an outsider too, because I was happy. Goth, let's just let him come with us. Gash, how about this? We get out of this, and you're telling the truth, and I'll give you the rest of the meat that I have.
I don't need another person to babysit. Sorry.
I
we
will
go alone.
I will babysit him.
And when he stabs us in the back while you're asleep?
Well, I'll be in the shadow, so I don't really worry about that.
Where are you trying to go? Maybe that can help. Maybe it's close to where Gash needs to go to get out, and then I don't want to. Gash, no want to be a burden, but no want to be. If I help, then I cannot come back here.
Well, Doth, do we know where we're going without him?
We know where we're going? Doesn't matter.
Because as far as I know, we're lost.
We're searching for
Erroneous. You're searching for the town called Filth Riddance.
I'm trying not to give him any information that I don't want him to have.
Yeah, so that's where you're looking for. I wouldn't say you are. So far, your checks have been pretty good because your checks for survival. But even though you're on path, you still don't quite know where it is. So you're not lost in the metagame sense that you are kind of going in a circle, but you also don't quite know where you're going. So you're just kind of taking. If you were to leave him, you would probably go into this maze and be the same thing. You still have to go into that maze.
I want to whisper at Doth. I'm like, Doth, we'll just let him go in the city. We just gotta get him out of this territory, I bet.
Well, you could kill him and chuck him off the the side of the cavern for all like.
That's kind of how Doth's looking.
You guys, it's your choice.
Or do you want him to just? We can't just leave him here, and I'm not gonna let you hurt him.
I knock him out.
Did you hit him?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to make this like a long back and forth between, because Doth is really big. He's kind of a skinny gnoll. Just athletics to his constitution. You beat it, he's knocked out. So I'm rolling. What'd you get, Doth? I want your athletics check to his versus his constitution to see if you can knock him out with that one punch.
$14.
Ooh. And so his jaw kind of snaps back. Why? And it's weird because it's like it doesn't happen immediately because you were really close. Like you just kind of got it. And he's like, "Why you do that to Gash?" Just collapses out.
Because I rolled acrobatics instead of athletics.
So with a flourish, backhanded him.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, sleep.
He's not. He's out. Oh no, he was out. Like he still fell. He still fell over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was just that he was up enough to know that he was punched before he passed out. So now he knows. Like we're in the movies, it's kind of like you hit him in the back of the head and they go out and they wake up like, what happened to me? He clearly saw it. He now knows like Doth like really clocked him one, but he's out.
I'm gonna run over just to check he's okay, and I'm gonna look up and I'm like, what's your plan with him now? Just to carry him?
No, I tie him up. Basically hog tie, lay him flat down, tie his feet to his hands behind his back, search him for any sort of maps or anything like that. Take a note of what his feet look like, and then try and backtrack his tracks in whatever direction we're going.
So quick cut to him being hogtied. He doesn't have much on him other than like a bag of like different teeth. They seem to be teeth from different creatures. And you do find a little map, and it's crudely drawn, and you'd probably have to make some checks to understand it because it's probably a map made just for him in case he forgets.
Cliff notes.
Yeah, and on that little scroll, it does seem to be a passage. What you are able to decipher without making any checks is that he makes the little bulls, like there's a little symbol of like the bull with the mouth open, which clearly leads into like a labyrinth section. But then he has a little line going around the labyrinth, and that seems to be like right. He makes like an X marks the spot to that, like right next to it. But you don't see that entrance anywhere necessarily in the room. Or in the cavern that you're in. But it seems to supposed to be like adjacent to that mouth.
Can we look around at the ground to see if there's any place that's like got displaced dirt or footprints or traffic that would indicate like a secret door?
Can I pick up that cup he dropped?
You can.
Yeah, I want to look at that.
So Nazar, you're looking at the cup. Doth, you are looking for secret passageways. You're looking at the rock. Alcides, what's Alcides doing all while this is happening?
He's just staying posted, looking at the other side of the cavern because he said the Minotaurs left. He's kind of awaiting their return.
Okay.
Unknowing if they were the ones that attacked at the fortress, just kind of.
Yep. Investigation check for Doth.
I really wish this wasn't snaps. 4?
Oh.
Oh no.
It's like agonizing to wait for the 4.
Yeah, wait for it to happen for that. And so Doth is having a tough time, and so the thing is, the way I treat sometimes investigation is that at this point, like, he doesn't find anything. He doesn't seem to see anything in the walls. But if he can, it's kind of a time-based thing. So he like at first glance, nothing seems to be there. But I imagine he wouldn't just stop looking. So it's one thing. This is a weird thing about like having time on your hands when you make a check like this. So even though it's a 4, I think Doth knows there's something there, but he hasn't found it yet. And so what I'm saying is he can make another check. But it's probably going to take, if they're going to like wait it out and he's going to continue, basically almost like doing a ritual. It's going to take him another 10 minutes to keep looking. He hasn't found something yet.
In the DMG, they got like a rule for doing skill checks. It's basically the number of minutes equal to the difficulty or whatever it is.
What does that? Say that again.
Oh, number of minutes equal to the difficulty.
So the number of minutes adds to the difficulty?
Or
brings down
equals the difficulty.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sometimes that is the case. On that first check, I'll use that for the second check. But I mean, based on your 4, yeah, you wouldn't have found it. Based on that, even on that, yeah, you wouldn't have found it just yet. So spending a little bit more time might bring that down. So he's still looking. Nazari, you have found a cup. I mean, it's exactly what I described. I don't know if you need me to re-describe what you see, but
No,
devil face on it. blue crystals for eyes. It's like a coffee mug, like a mug for ale or beer or something like that, right? Made of bronze, and it has a devilish grin, like a face on it, and two little blue crystals for eyes. That's all it is.
All right. I'll put it in my bag.
Yeah. Okay. Do you investigate it or look it over to try to decipher anything from it?
Yes. That's what I was asking. Yes.
Investigation check.
Yes, sir. Fuck. I don't even know why I'm looking to see if I get any pluses because I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a 4.
So you're like, yeah, maybe it's worth something. I imagine that's like you're thinking right now.
Yeah, it's cute.
As Doth continue, how are you guys? So do you guys want to? Because here's the reason I'm asking this, because Alcides is like, okay, are they going to come back? Do we want to spend time kind of standing out here in the open? Do we go into this cavern? Do we spend more time looking for supposedly this because clearly on this map, Gash is saying, and Dash had mentioned he's got another way around them. Do we just try to find that and take that? It's up to you.
Is there any reason for us to go into this fortress besides possible loot?
It's just that both ways probably could lead you to where you're going. It's more so thinking about if you're... Well, Gash has basically told you the labyrinth is set up for an ambush.
Yeah.
Can I have an insight check from everyone?
Yeah.
And this is an insight for check for something I assume you already got from what I described, but a chance to make it obviously clear. Or make it more clear.
I got
G3.
Yeah, okay. So I'll go with Alcides since let's see anybody got higher than that. So Alcides, as you're looking around at where those, you clearly now are realizing like if he's talking about the Minotaurs because he called the one the Alpha, and the one that the big Minotaur that you guys fought right on that in that cavern, it's likely that those are the same Minotaurs, which means that if you do want to take the labyrinth through the just without going through the secret way, there's a chance that those Minotaurs are not there, or at least most of them are dead because you slaughtered a bunch of them, right? So maybe there's not a huge ambush there because you already killed them. But then there's also the opportunity of not being lost in a labyrinth for hours, days, I don't know, who knows how long, by maybe finding Gash's way. But then who knows where Gash's way goes because he's tied up and knocked out. So
also, I'm pretty sure we just signed Gash's death warrant just by him talking to us because we didn't kill the Alpha. We set him loose.
Walked away.
So
yeah.
he's gonna come back.
So if he comes back and he's tied up, it's probably curtains for Gash.
He's gonna come back and be like, "I'm pissed off. I just lost. Where's the weakest thing? There it is."
With that map, it could either be the way he needs to go around the base, or that could be the way to go for the ambushes.
So I'm gonna wake up Gash and just start asking him questions about the Alpha. Like, hey, does he look like this, this, this?
I would have loved to, but somebody knocked him out. I was trying to make buddy with him.
He's smacking him. He's slowly. He kind of like, so what? Don't hit Gash again, please. So what are you? You're asking him what again?
Just asking like, hey, what does this Alpha look like? And then describe to him what we fought. And be like, is that the Alpha?
He confirms. Yeah, that's him.
Well, I will then tell him our heroic story of defeating said Alpha.
You didn't kill him?
He almost killed us.
He did not almost kill us. We whipped him thoroughly.
He almost killed me, I guess.
That's true.
Even more reason to take Gash with you, please. I don't want to see him again. But if you are not going to take me, please at least do not keep me tied up.
Let's take him to the city with us at least. I mean, if we
the city? What city?
A city. What do you guys think?
There are no. They're not.
It's a bad idea.
I won't lead myself. Let's see. I'm going to give a DC 12 wisdom check. He doesn't have much modifier to it, so okay, he fails. So he doesn't know this city, but he says that, but he can't put the two together to be like filth ridden, so he's just kind of still lost.
Good. That's what I was hoping for.
Let's see. I'm gonna speak with Doth privately and be like, should we have him show us where his entrance is and then take the path?
I think so. Metagaming, I was thinking about splitting the party, having Calyx go up the path, and then we'll just take the direct route, make a bunch of noise. Stick to that double plan of having just like an extraction team, and then we meet up at a pre-designated location.
So you want to split the party in a labyrinth?
With an odd number of players.
It'll
say
probably
yes.
be Nazari and Calyx on one side.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Because both of them lead to the same spot, right?
Say that again.
Oh, on the map, both go to the same spot, right?
Yes, they both go to the same spot.
So
I see. So he's saying like you could take both passages. The difference about they're two different paths, but the one thing about the path directly forward is it is a labyrinth. And I will say, from the time you spend here, what you can see beyond that mouthway, the path is about 8 foot wide, and then the ceilings are 10 foot tall. But unlike everywhere you've been so far, right? Everywhere has been caves and caverns and tight corridors and stalagmites. This is structured. These are clearly built walls chiseled into the side of this mountain with ceilings overhead. So this really is a labyrinth if you go into it. And who knows how long it goes to the other side, because the crude map doesn't have any designations for how long anything, or how far it, so yeah. And so did I hear that somebody was saying did you actually tell Gash to share his secret location, or?
well, if our conversation was in private,
Well, yeah, it's up to you guys. Yeah, I mean, if it's private, then you can put him. Well, I just heard you wake him up. Then Nazari was like, "There's something about the city," so I imagine he heard you. But so far, he's not. He's not very smart. He has survival instincts, but he's not the most intelligent.
I realized I was muted. I woke him up to ask him questions about the Alpha and the warband that left.
Okay, got it. So then, yeah, if you guys want to walk away from him and have conversations, just say you're like having them. I'll just assume now that you're having them away from Gash.
And then I'm going to ask Gesh if his secret path is just a straightforward shot, or is it also kind of like a labyrinth?
It is as straightforward as possible. A couple of forks in the road, but Gash knows the right ways. Not like the labyrinth. Very easy to get lost in the labyrinth.
I'll say he's just kind of walk up to Doth and be like, do you think this Gash would be a threat on his own?
The whole point of leading us into a trap is that it's a trap. We're not supposed to be able to anticipate it. We don't know where it is. We don't really trust him. So I don't know. It's up to you. Your life. I'm going this way.
And which way was that? Into the labyrinth?
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna attempt to knock out Gash again, but untie him first, or knock him out then untie him.
Okay. He's already tied, so no need to make another check, because I imagine that just automatically succeeds. Boom, he goes back out. And Doth is kind of marching towards the labyrinth. Is that the plan for everyone?
Yeah, that's the plan for LCDs. He's just gonna be like, well, my father said Minotaurs no labyrinths. Let's see if it's just a stereotype or if he's right.
I was born in a labyrinth.
Yes, you also fly though, so many conflicting accounts.
That was one thing I also wanted to do. Well, when we got there, we had flown across a chasm. I kind of wanted to like check out and see what was at the bottom of the chasm. So it was like 60 feet or down or so.
Oh,
It's been
that
about-
was it. Was 60? It was 40. That's it. This chasm is like beyond 60 feet. It's just
Yeah.
into darkness.
No, it was just 60 feet wide.
Oh, it's 60 feet wide. Yeah, like you cannot see the bottom of this thing. Like you would have to, try to fly down there to find it. And it doesn't look like you're gonna see it in like 60 or maybe even 80 feet or maybe even 100 feet. Right? It seems like it goes down a great way. Yeah. So I mean, you do have a minotaur with you, to traverse this labyrinth, and so. The group decides to head in, leaving Gash knocked out.
I'm gonna leave him the rest of the meat that I had.
Doth takes the lead, and I imagine as you guys begin to march through, securing, finding dead ends, doubling back, continuing to twist.
For traps.
Looking for traps, of course, this entire time. Can I have a survival check from Doth? And I'll give you advantage because you are a Minotaur and you were born, so advantage.
Wait 3 hours for that to roll. First one was a 9. I think the next one's a 10, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. And so, you all travel. In the first hour, you start to feel like you don't. Even Doth knows labyrinths, and he can systematically work this thing out. By either going one direction, but this labyrinth kind of confuses you and disorients you, and it seems to be that you travel for another 3 hours. But so it's a 4 hours total, and you find yourself kind of right back in one of the halls that you started, not far from the mouth of the cave. As you're kind of turned around, you can give me another check to continue on here, and also need a con save from everyone.
Oh, you next to me. You get a.
They're next to you.
4 to that,
Okay.
since it is a save. $18.
18.
6.
What'd you get, Nazari?
6.
6. Okay. Doth.
I got a 21 for my survival and a natural 20, and then a 21 for my con save.
Okay.
Con save.
Nice. So with all those, I mean, that's a lot of successes there, Doth, and with Alcides helping in the con saves, what you realize is there's some kind of scent or growth, or it's most likely magical. You notice there's like you've noticed that there's because I know you're in the desert, but you're underground, but you must be close to some maybe source of water, because there's a bit of moss growing on things. There's a kind of a scent of that dampness in the air, that humidity, and whatever it is seem to be throwing off your sense of like direction. It's almost like a chemical or maybe magic in the air. Whatever it is, you're starting to realize it, and you're starting to your body starts to kind of work against it so that you can settle yourself. And so now, Doth, you won't be affected by it anymore. And you said you got a nat 20 on that second survival check.
Mhm.
And so with that nat 20, you travel for another 4 hours now. So now you've been traveling for 8 hours, feeling the kind of the tired. This maze goes upstairs, and sometimes it doubles over and goes down, and sometimes you're going like in a spiral, and then eventually this long black hall.
Any
That
good graffiti along the way?
um, there are mostly what you do come across the entire way is multiple like bones of creatures that have come and gone. You don't scraps of metal. There are slash marks and claw marks on the wall. Places where clearly axes. Like this place looks like an entire war could have taken place through here. And but you, because the minotaurs and the way they move and the way there are very little markings that they leave behind, because like you, there's no need because they internalize it in their heads. The few that you have found that are probably left by other mortals or humanoids, they always end in a dead end, so clearly they're wrong. But the end of that hall does exit, um, and at the end of it is a large cavern space, and you up ahead, actually as you're coming towards it, you can start to hear like the whispers of like the movement of others, people. So I imagine that you approach cautiously, and what you see in this large cavern space is a couple, a few torches going in different areas. The place is, actually, let me describe it, make sure I don't miss anything here. Um, this cavern opens up and it looks like a settlement, and there are tents everywhere and crudely built shanties, and they align multiple parts of the irregular walls here. You can see humans. They're not like walking around like a normal town, but you can see the figures kind of shifting amongst the light. So they're it's not heavily populated, but there are figures here. You see a couple of minotaurs moving to and fro, and at one end of maybe almost 70 feet, this place, like, what's interesting about the cavern as well is it looks like there are man-made structures built within it, and at one end of the cavern is what almost looks like another doorway that leads deeper, and that one has a portcullis that is closed down, and it's just kind of quiet. There's not a lot of noise. There's not a lot of tinkering of a blacksmith or anything like that. But this must be that filth riddance that you were looking for, that you're spoken of, and to kind of give you a better view of what you see here, I'll try to pull this back and find and you guys can roll, since I've kind of described enough, you can kind of role play amongst yourself while I reset the scene here a bit.
Am I correct in remembering that we're under the assumption that they were taken as slaves? So is there any area that looks like a mine or like a salt pit, or a place where they need slave labor in order to get something accomplished?
It does not look like that, strangely, which is kind of off-putting with you, since you are looking, because you did hear them saying that there's a possibility that they took slaves here. And I imagine you guys are just kind of hiding in this tunnel. Just put you somewhere right there that exits into this space. But you can kind of see everything that you see there around you. As well as maybe another view of it that way. But how do you proceed?
Well, as an Acroan in the middle of a Minotaur village in the middle of Scophos, very cautiously.
Now here's the thing, the Minotaurs seem to be few. Most of the people you see moving around seem to look like humanoids, just like norm, like more humans than anything, seem to be represented here. All of them looking a bit disheveled, um, greasy, tired. This almost looks like a hovel or a place for those refugees who find themselves running away from maybe minotaurs, from or a, a camp of some type. For some reason, maybe the minotaurs don't come here often. What it is, and maybe the minotaurs here are different from the others, as you see them kind of walking around mundanely. It is a little strange. Can I have a perception checks all around?
23.
23 from you, Nazari. Okay.
9.
Okay. And
22.
okay, so two of you got over 20. So it makes it very clear as you're looking out that what you start to notice is most of these humans have a strange marking carved on the center of their forehead. It's and it's hard to see. It almost seems like a circle, and it has these like lines, but then there's just something kind of crudely drawn in it. And between the both of you, Nazari and Alcides are able to together make out, maybe from one that walks by you but doesn't see you, that the symbol on their head seems to be a combination of the symbol of both Mogus and Erebos, if they were like drawn over each other.
That'd be a Nazarian Doth. I got a 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm sorry, Nazarian Doth.
We'll look over at Dothman.
But all is what we know. The armies are in league. They're planning on attacking, so it makes sense that we see their symbol. Is there like any wood burning or?
Yes, actually, across the way there is a little camp, near some of the tents, and there seem to be a couple of figures standing around a fire. That fire burning, there seems to be a creature being spit roasted on it, and it looks a lot like that brain with the tentacles, like a squid creature, one of the things that you all fought.
Is that a grell?
Like a grell, yep. A grell being cooked over it. That's probably the open flame, and then there are these kind of braziers or torches that you see around the place. Since you guys you haven't moved in a while, but can I have an advantage stealth check?
Everybody?
Yes, everyone. I'd be going off the lowest roll here.
I've got disadvantage on stealth, so mine's just wrong.
Yep.
Same here.
All right, I got a 23.
13.
11.
Okay. And so, of all times, I rarely do, but I rolled a nat 20 for a 25. And so,
All right.
suddenly these two minotaurs kind of like step out of into the shadows and go, "Who goes there? Don't move a muscle." And then one of them calls out and goes, "Hema oculi, intruders!" So they're kind of standing there right in front of you.
I'm gonna just say, if we have already intruded, you are terrible guards.
And suddenly, above, there's like from over like in the distance, there's like a cave there, and out steps. Way in the distance, there's this large, gray-skinned cyclops, bald head, kind of portly belly, wearing a crude breastplate, large enough to fit it, barely large enough to fit it. Its eye is kind of peering down over them, and it says, "Ah, bring them into the light. Let us see them. You are all in the presence of the Homicidio. You must fight or die. If you die, you fuel our bloodlust. If you are strong enough, maybe you live to become Homicidio yourself." What are you guys doing? Because they're kind of like slowly stepping away, but asking you to kind of come out of the tunnel.
Cast false light on myself.
Cast what?
False light on myself.
Okay. And does that make you look dead?
No, it's
No.
just like a fake
Oh,
hit points.
Got it. Bumps. Yes, so cast off life. So there's these two bigger minotaur here, and a few more of them. coming out of the
Alcides
woodworks
will
back
step
here.
forward and be like, "What exactly are your terms? Like, will we have to fight one-on-one? One against many?"
There's no need for you all against my mini. And at that moment, suddenly someone calls out, and this figure adjacent to it, over in like a little hovel, little hut, steps out, and there's a little fire burning there, and this figure is kind of clad in dark robes, dark black and blue robes. And the figure says, "Oculi, leave them be. They are friends." And then the Cyclops looks like kind of in this, "What do you mean they're friends?" And it doesn't say that, but clearly the body language. And the figure kind of turns and goes, "Oh, friends of the gods of bloodshed. Look at them. How could they have come this far if they not be? Come, friends, you will not be harmed. Let us talk here in my tent." Can I have a
Insight check?
check from just from Alcides?
So close. Let's see. Insight. So that'll be a 23.
So Alcides, you know the voice too well, though it seems stronger than it was before. And then that is erroneous. And then he kind of pulls back his hood, and there he stands, a bit tired looking, his dark circles under his eyes. His eyes kind of blare with a bit of like gold, and he has that Homicidio marking etched in his forehead. "My friends, I invite you up. Let us talk. You are safe." And from your 20, he seems to be telling the truth. And when he speaks, the Minotaurs drop their crude axes or their mauls and begin to step away and create a path in this creepy little cavern village for you all.
Can I teleport into the tent?
You can?
Yes, I teleport into the tent.
So where are you trying to teleport to? Are you trying to teleport up to where the guy is up at the top?
Well, he invited us into his tent.
Yes, you're just teleporting into his.
So
tent.
I was just for comedy.
Yeah. So you just go there. Okay.
Like, whoo, that was That was far.
I'm gonna bring that location to us since it's so far away. But I mean that so you all see Nazari just disappear. I know Doth is not trusting this, but
It's okay. Does it sound like it has line of sight to the Cyclops at least?
you do.
Nice.
What did I literally? I hate when I move miniature. I literally just lost. Go to Nazari. Where did I move him?
Yeah, but before proceeding forward, I'll be like, do you still go by your old name? Or is there something new we should call you?
Um,
And do I know this guy?
you all know him. He is Erroneous, the guy you met who was begging and crying for the woman Delica, who, you know, who couldn't,
Okay, so
who Alcides started to put on kind of this path, making him work out every day, making him get stronger, sending him help for his brother and sister, like sending them to Satessa, and then he disappeared on his way back to Akros, if I'm not mistaken. And this seems to be the same fellow. And he,
But I mean,
go ahead.
do I know him or do I just know of him? Has he just sort of been like around?
Doth, you
or-
were there when, right? You were there when you met him. That was like,
Yeah, I don't think I ever talked to him though. I mean, like
you probably
it was
didn't
just-
talk to him much, but yeah, he was the sniveling guy who, you know, for you guys, because you fought Delica in Satessa to try to talk to her about getting him back, and then that didn't work, and then I remember Alcides was like, you need to be a man, you know, like get it together kind of deal, and then Alcides took him with you, and he kind of became a pet of the party back to Akros, and then then you guys sent him on his own mission, and then so now he has somehow ended up here. Maybe you didn't talk to him much. Yeah, I doubt you did. But I think you're very familiar with who this is. I think if anything, Nazari doesn't know who this guy is, but
That's what I was
Nazari's.
thinking, yeah, because I'm the newest member here. I didn't meet him at that time.
But you know, Nazari knows. You all know that you came here for this guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, I kind of want to, I don't know, maybe an insight or something like that into why, after all that, he would be here with Mogus. Is there like some reason that I can fathom that would have him in this position doing these actions, or?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I asked him if he still wants to be called by his old name.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of want to see, like, hey, like, you still Erroneous? And like a new title, stuff like that.
Because I don't think I know him well enough in order to make like a character check.
Yeah.
In his character. Or...
Only Alcides will be able to do that.
And I already did. I got the 23 to see who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he goes, since you're calling up to him, Erroneous is dead, my friend. But I am one of the oracles of the Triune. That is Hema Oculi, the Blood Eye. And I am the Eye of Death. We can speak further here. And he kind of still gestures. And Nazari comes out of the shadows, kind of surprising him as he looks down. That's a nice trick, little one.
Oh, thank you for inviting us.
Hey, Alcides, do any of your like magical wards or glows or auras or anything like that seem to be negatively triggered by this guy?
I mean, it would have to be closer within 30 feet to trigger.
Yeah, he's pretty. He's about 70 feet away from you. I mean, except for Nazari, who's standing right next to him now. So I know what I'm showing you here is you guys are. This is up there in the back, you know.
Can I do like an investigation of like just his hut and like my surroundings now?
Yeah, there are like you see a bunch of like clay pot bowls, and then like they seem to have like dried could be blood or like things in them, things that maybe he's like mixing. He's a bit disheveled. The robe he wears is not nice. It's not like some kind of high class cultist. It's very much shambles. A bit of wolf or some kind of maybe like pelt, like fur that maybe was found off some creature. Who knows?
Does he look injured or anything? Looks okay.
No, he's and he wears that pelt over, and it's not quite a complete robe. So you see his chest out, like and the bit of chest that you see. I think that Alcides would find that he's definitely like he's like lean muscle, right? Like no fat on this kid. You know, he's a 20-something young man, strange marking carved into his head, those blazing eyes. I think I just froze, but hopefully you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing
a nice freeze.
Gosh, yeah, that Marco Almacido, that was kind of creepy. So, yeah, and so he goes, what brings? And he goes, I do not know you, friend. I know the Acro, and why have you brought him here?
Well, I have kind of just been following these guys around since they picked me up.
He shouldn't have come here.
Should have seen where I came from.
I'm sure he does not trust me. Why don't you... I can come down to them. I cannot move as quickly as you, though.
Oh no, I said I was gonna go up there after I heard his answer.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, so you're you're making your way up.
And Nazari will like help him walk. Like he'll offer his arm.
No need. He seems to be he seems to be strong. Like
okay.
He's not. He is he's lean, but he's not frail, right? Like unlike a lot of people around here, emaciated, he doesn't look that way. He actually looks. He looks the complete opposite of the way you found him, right? Like, he was a sniveling nobody, and now you can kind of see him kind of walking, like, giving little orders without much breath, just a wave of a hand, you know, as making sure people move out of Alcides and Doth's way as you approach.
Take a head count to, like, the number of warriors / anybody who's a non-combatant.
Yeah. You roughly see about 15 humanoids who probably would be equivalent of low-level bandits, cultists, easily dispersed. There are about 5 minotaurs in camp right now. And then the large Cyclops who seems a bit suspicious by, but seems to respect Erroneous's decision to allow you in. And that figure has turned back and kind of marched into his cave.
Does the Cyclops bear any markings or symbols himself? Or?
Just the Almacidio. Yep, the cut on the head.
No, like family crests or
nothing.
Stuff like that.
Well, thank you for coming. I figured it would be easier than to yell across the cavern. Alcides, I want to say it's good to see you, but I'm afraid I'm not sure why you have come. Would you like a drink? As he pours what looks to be water in a cup. He takes a drink, and then clearly, is offering it around like in the same bowl. Not pouring you all one, but just drinks and offers it as well.
I'll grab the bowl and I'll smell it. I figure I won't smell anything from it, really.
It's, I would not poison you. It is fresh water. It's a little warm, but it is fresh. We don't get much rain in Scophos, but when we do, it seeps through the rock. It gathers at a nearby source, in a natural tub of sorts. Welcome to Filthriddens, a place of exiles and mortals. Used to be a place where the Minotaurs used humans to as slaves, servants, whatever you call, to continue the excavation of them, to work on creating more tunnels, to expand the labyrinths in the rock of Scophos at an off-site. But we, the Almacidio, have changed that. We have taken the camp as our own. So there will be no more slaves going forward.
That sounds impressive.
I would agree. The reason for us coming is we believed you to be in danger not more than a week ago.
Yes.
An oracle had a vision of you lost here.
I know much has happened quickly. It has only been a week. But I don't know about you, but something about THEROS is... things seem to be moving so quickly. Weeks feel like months sometimes, and almost as though passage of time is fractured or unraveling. But yes, about a week ago, I found myself on a road to Akros with a group of merchants, as you had sent me. And we were waylaid by minotaurs and centaurs of the famous type. And he kind of gets quiet for a moment before continuing and just saying, many of them were killed. I survived. I used what you taught me. Half of it was what I remember on a split second, and part of me wonders if it was the gods. And part of it, I kind of looks outside like he doesn't want to be too loud. Part of it, maybe I was just lucky. But I killed
Maybe
the
it was
biggest.
all.
I killed the biggest of the Minotaur in that group. What'd you say?
Well, I said maybe it was all, and I took a sip.
Yeah, I killed the biggest Minotaur in that group. And the Blood Eye saw, and he believed me to be the second of the triune. He believes that there will be three oracles of the Almacidio that will lead, each of them dedicated to a god. He is dedicated to Mogus. I am dedicated to Erebos. Soon we will find that dedicated to the newcomer, the god who plans to plant itself, Yinagu. This is all new, and I know you are probably disappointed in me, Alcides. But look at me. I worry not anymore about Delica. I am strong. I have been given power. I am a leader here. I have never had this anywhere. He kind of sits back.
It's true you have power now, but the rate at which you acquired it is astounding. Just don't let it get to your head.
If I am touched by a god, if Erebos wants me to do this, then what choice do I have? I can't. I might as well lean on it than end up being crushed.
Power's like a fire, and fire likes to burn. So, when you and your brothers are together, will you proceed from the Ornian Mountains and lay waste to all of Theros, or what's your intent? Do you plan to bring your religion to the masses?
To grow, we train, kind of looks, we bring those weak who seem strong enough here to become one with the Almacidio, and then we create leaders to go out and to take the bloodshed, to those who need to learn.
Tell me more of your gods and your beliefs. What is it that they hope to accomplish when they have achieved their victory?
Only then will the strong be alive. Only then the strong will inherit THEROS.
Will not the strong need to fight the other strong in order to prove who's strongest?
Yes, maybe that is the will of the... Kind of seems to... Maybe that's the will of the gods.
So when there's only one left, that will be the strongest, and then who will he challenge?
Can I have a insight check, Doth?
Okay.
So all your questions, you start to realize he's still the same. A week doesn't completely change a person, and so there's something in him that's still that. You kind of there for a second as you come bombarded with questions. There's a glimmer of like that weak Aronis who has almost maybe even get a sense of this almost imposter syndrome, right? Like he's kind of gravitated to this to try to stay alive, and you're starting to get the feeling that maybe he doesn't even believe everything that he is saying. He reminds you a little bit of Gash in that way.
Well, you know my feelings regarding that.
Yeah, it's just saying, yeah.
I look at Aronis, I look at Alcides, I look back at Aronis, I look back at Alcides with sort of like, this is all on you, man. Shake my head and then go to keep guard by the door.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you are an oracle of Erebos, did he tell you of our meeting in the underworld?
I have never spoke to the god. I only communicate dreams, visions, omens. Last night I dreamt of our first training. When I woke up this morning, I didn't quite know what it meant. It makes complete sense now. I am torn, Alcides, for I fear there's no way out of here if you've plumbed to get me. This is a dangerous place to come for one person, and I appreciate it, but what do you expect? Do you expect to just walk out of here with me? That's going to be difficult.
Well, luckily for you, I was expecting to fight my way out of here. Strength seems to be the nature of the beast around here. And luckily for you, if you choose to leave with us, you will be fighting by my side. Not behind me, with me.
Do your companions feel the same way? I worry they don't.
Much like you, the ones that look weaker are survivors.
Okay.
You have faced great challenge, and I cannot force you to do anything against your will. If this is where you feel like you should be, this is where you should be.
You would do that? Great warrior of Akros would come and find a village of murder hobos and simply walk away from us? Would you actually leave here without a fight?
You can't be doing a whole lot of murdering as long as you're here. However, if we are to meet outside the labyrinth, anywhere else in THEROS, and you bring an army, I shall face it as an enemy.
You are definitely the Alcides. I remember. He puts his hand out to shake your hand.
Reach out and shake it.
I know may not be the path you expected from me, but I appreciate you allowing me to see that I didn't have to be weak. Can I have a persuasion check? And I'm gonna roll one for just Alcides here.
Skills. I rolled an 18 plus
Jeez, you guys are on
7,
fire.
so 25.
You guys never miss. It's just like, so he's like,
It's in the chat log, man.
yeah, he's like, you've made me strong. And then he lets your hand go and he goes, I agree. If we meet each other on the field, maybe we will get a chance to test each other's strength. But you're free to go.
Be sure to tell Delica you no longer pursue her.
And as you're leaving, he's kind of turned, and when you say that, he's kind of gathering his bows, and he stops. And he says, Alcides, I like my strength. I like my power. I don't know if it comes directly from Erebos.
Well, I
But
know
I
the
want to
amount
go with
that
you. I want to
got
leave.
you here. At least what got you through most of the labyrinth was yourself.
Okay. If you are about this, if you will allow me to accompany you, I can only see two ways of doing this. But I know you are probably a strategist beyond me, so you may have another path. I suggest we would either have to fight our way out of the Homicidio. What you see here is those that are in the area. Others are out, but hopefully no one returns as we finish them off. Or I can say I've had a vision that I need to leave with you. Perhaps Erebos will send me on a mission with you. And maybe we can simply walk out.
I'm gonna
I
put
don't
a hand
know.
on his shoulder and be like, my brother is the strategist. I am the honest one.
If it
Like,
goes
we know of
wrong and the Blood Eye, whenever he refers to the Blood Eye, is referring to the Cyclops. If the way it works is basically when they don't see eye to eye, if the Blood Eye doesn't have the exact same vision and they conflict, then because the Blood Eye is like the head, he would see Erroneous would have to have some type of fight, or he may request Erroneous to do something to earn his vision as superior to his own. At least that's the way it works, right now with this like crazy cult. So
Idly whittling a piece of wire between my fingers, I message in a low whisper. So, perhaps you should suggest that there is an obstacle that the Cyclops' assistance is necessary in order to move in the service of his Grand Master, or so on and so on and so forth. They can both go together, and then we at least to get the Cyclops alone.
So just to make sure, because your sound is a little lower than me on my end. So what you're recommending, Doth, is to get them to convince the Cyclops to leave camp.
Yeah, he can leave Erroneous, the Cyclops, and us leave to go move a blockage in a passageway that is stopping the armies of Mogus from wreaking havoc across the land. And once we get him out of the camp, then we can ambush him.
Okay. What do y'all think about that?
Alcides doesn't lie, so he's just gonna stay quiet in that regard if that's gonna be the path.
I'm sure Calix is all for this line. What's Nazari thinking about?
That sounds like a good plan to me too.
Nazis will, of course, say, "What all do you know about this third oracle or third foreign god?
The Inogo.
He seems to align with Mogus, but I fear he is not going to work with him for long."
They they align in the sense that they want the same thing, but they both want to be superior to each other. Um, Between you and I, you're starting to realize that Aronis is like he's able to kind of like speak this thing, and but he's kind of still halfway in it, halfway out, and so he's like, this Omicidio clan, they are not the large group here. The big factions are Minotaurs warring with the Knoll. The Knoll seem to have recently showed up. The Knoll have been here for some time, meaning like maybe even years, but recently the avatar of their god, Unico, is supposedly stalking the labyrinth of the Horn King in different areas of Scophos, looking to challenge anyone under Mogus. So, like we had said before, they're still at each other's throats, and then in the middle there's the Omicidio trying to gather and trying to get them to stop warring with each other, almost trying to bring everyone into one giant army that can fight against everyone else. It's maybe even trying to stop the infighting and take it to the rest of Theros. That's really the goal of Omicidio. But they don't seem to have all. They seem to be very small in their starting. So they take in gnolls, they take in minotaurs, they take in anyone who's willing to kind of convert and kill indiscriminately.
An alternate plan would be to use this guy for counterintelligence, turn him into a spy, basically, that sends us information related to their war efforts, so that we would then be able to counter things like troop movements, figure out where they're getting their supplies from, who they're negotiating with, find the leaders, and possibly decapitate them.
And Aziz will ask the question, is an oracle usually someone who was once weak but then given strength by the god in the visions and dreams?
Alcides, I don't know. A week ago, I wasn't the man you left me as, but I was stronger. I could scrap, I could hunt. I was doing well for myself. But this is all new to me. These dreams, I don't know how other oracles are made. I don't, you get a feeling that he is partially believing. He's clearly has powers now, like, and he kind of does prestidigitation. I can never say that word. Prestidigitation, and he kind of does, he makes a little flame, like flicker. He makes like the kind of go up. So he shows you almost like a sorcerer that he's been granted something. But you get the feeling that like he's not. It's not like the gods are controlling him, and it's not like he's not like drinking the Kool-Aid, but he's also trying to stay alive. So Aronis is like Daw said, is playing this as close to the chest as possible, but also still maybe enjoying. There's a part of him that probably enjoys not being a sniveling, weakling, but he's also terrified of where this takes him,
Alcides, a moment of your time.
If I may, Eye of Death.
Steps away.
Perhaps you can convince him that his greatest strength isn't in fact his weakness, his ability to kowtow to those who are more powerful and provide good cover. At the same time, he can demonstrate his courage to something more nobler and grander than him by putting himself in a position of danger inside of this establishment in order to give us the information that we need in order to save the continent.
I can tell him what you told me, but in the end, it is his decision.
I know,
However,
but
I believe
you're much more convincing than I am. Trust me.
Nash, the gnoll we met outside, I feel as though he is special in some regard. in accordance with all these oracles.
I agree. However, I don't trust the influence that those two would have on each other, or even worse, working in tandem.
I'm simply suggesting that the Eye of Death and the Eye of Blood meet with Nash to confirm whether or not he is indeed the third oracle. Because based on how erroneous was before he became an oracle, Nash seems to partake in the similarities.
Possible. It would give us an excuse to get the Cyclops out of town.
It's interesting.
And then I will, or yeah, I'm gonna say, would you like me to propose this plan? Because I feel that there is truth to it.
Trust your instincts and do what you feel is right.
What
This
does
is your
instinct check be?
This is your man, your test of leadership.
So I will tell the newly dubbed Eye of Death about this knoll on the outside and how he doesn't fit the mold of the other knolls, and how just kind of it was an interesting feller, and the fact that he is weak yet surviving.
Just gonna make a check. It's quiet for a second. Can you take me to this gash?
Hopefully he is still where we left him. We did not kill him.
And remember, you guys traveled a good 8 hours, so
He seems to
now
enjoy...
Doth has been tracking, so he should be able to, like, with ease go, get back there. But so you can cut that down by the hours that you were off. So yes, you should be able to get back in 4 hours. Now just know, if you don't, you guys are at a point where if you don't rest, you're gonna have to possibly take exhaustion checks to get back to that location, because you've been traveling for 8 hours, and you're still up, but now you're going back. You're going back into the wild, which is completely fine. But yeah, he seems to be on board with this. He's like, I will go with you. But why are you telling me this? He stops. He goes, you are not for the Omnissidio. Why would you want the Blood Eye to complete his plan? You don't want to see bloodshed come to Theros. What's happening here?
It seems the best way to be able to get you to leave under the supervision of the Blood Eye. A mission, as it were.
He's kind of like, oh, I see. It may be hard to convince him.
And by the way, Alcides does believe that knoll is special for that reason, now that he has learned about these specific Omnissidio oracles.
It would make sense that the leader, or whoever become the part of Unigao, be a knoll and not an untraditional knoll. So it makes sense. I believe I can sell the Blood Eye on it. I may need your help as well, selling yourself as Omnissidio, or as potential Omnissidio. I don't know if you can do that. I know you do not lie, Alcides, but you may be asked to do so.
Well, with providing this oracle can provide us safe leave, for at least me and my party, if you do not wish to go. It's a bargain, not a deception. Surely the Blood Eye would understand that after witnessing him, that since we do not want to be a CDO, we do not necessarily want to have to fight our way out. And that by showing you the way to this, it may not align with our goals, but it is for our safety.
And so if you wish, we can we can go to the Blood Eye and have this conversation. Is that what we've all decided to do? Because Aronis is on it. And so we kind of just as we cut to you kind of going to the cave and these two minotaurs kind of standing at the outset, kind of slowly bowing as Erroneous takes him in, takes you all in. And you know, you tell them everything, and Erroneous kind of talks and shares with the Blood Eye, and he's really doing his best to just sell this, and he's even talking about how he has also seen this vision, and how you could be Alcides could be this great conduit for when we do need to fight the Acroans, because he understands them, and when he's all said and done, is there anything else? And then the Cyclops, the Blood Eye, looks to you all, kind of just really intensely peering to see if he can find any deception. Because you can tell in his voice he's not completely buying this. And he just says,
in exchange, and then Alcides will say, in exchange, like, boiled down, this Knoll who has the potential to be your oracle for our safe passage.
Persuasion check. Oh my gosh.
16 plus 7, that'll be 23.
He sits back. And he starts to speak. Although Minotaur, and one of the Minotaurs walks forward, and Doth can hear him say, a crude name of a Minotaur. Come, he goes, the blood shall tell me. It is time, my brother. The Minotaur kneels, and then he takes this huge axe off the wall, and over this huge bowl he just beheads this Minotaur, and blood begins to fill, this thick hot blood begins to fill the bowl, and he sticks his hands into it, and he pulls them up, and he goes, and he kind of rubs them across his eye, and he goes, show me. And he's gonna make his own religion check, but he's going to do it at disadvantage because of so far everything you've shared. And then he sits there in silence for another 5 minutes. Stands. Let us go now. We must find this Knoll. We must get there. I see the Knoll, and I do not want any of the other Minotaurs to kill it if you've told me what it has done. It is in a weakened state, like Aronis. We must move. And with that, unless you guys say otherwise, I imagine you guys start to move out. He takes 2 more Minotaurs with him as accompanies guards. And you guys begin to, unless you guys fight otherwise, travel.
Nope,
back.
I'm gonna idly toss one of those coins over the border, whatever this is.
You're gonna toss one of those coins to do what?
Oh, those coins that I've been tossing around for.
Oh yeah, just throw one of those back. And you guys travel off into the labyrinth back towards where hopefully we will find Gash alive and well. Now, we'll crash to black there. We'll take a 5-minute break because you need to refill your drinks or take a restroom break, and I'll also kind of rechange the settings as we're heading back to try to find Gash.
All right.
I feel like I protected the DM's plan, and this Nash is the next oracle.
He had a picture and everything with what?
Yeah, definitely important. And it was an outlier completely to everything else we had encountered. Either way, then is the opportunity once we're out of the entire village. Should be a Cyclops and 2 Minotaurs, hopefully.
Now, here's what I want to know is, do you wait until you get back to Gash before you spring the trap on him? Oh, sorry. Or do you
try and get more information based on their interaction?
Yeah. How do you guys plan to spring that trap and then just go back and get Nash? Because if you spring the trap before in the labyrinth, just kind of wondering what your all's plan is. just so that I don't take over and guide the story if that's the plan, is to do it before you get there.
I would say when we get to the entranceway, because there's a nice large cavern to push said Blood Eye into.
Okay, that makes sense.
We're on the same page.
All right, cool. Well, I will be back soon. Just reset things, but good stuff.
All right.
Oh, there's Nash again.
So I think you're thinking what I'm thinking for the most part.
Pretty much use our environment to our advantage. Hopefully Nash doesn't awaken some super fucking powers and kick our ass. But...
yeah, that's pretty much it. Or we don't wake up whatever's in the cavern, or whatever else could possibly go wrong. Assume everything's going to go wrong. But...
oh yeah, but that was pretty much the only way to get through without actual deception. I had to work around my character's flaw of being extremely honest. Because before he was thinking, that's a very odd knoll to be in this area. And then meeting Erroneous and seeing how he became an oracle was like, oh, maybe that's how the selection process works. Someone who's a survivor no matter what. Sort of deal. But then again, the outlier may be the Cyclops. However, the Cyclops commented like, oh, like Erroneous, this knoll makes sense, meaning beforehand, he may have also been a weak Cyclops. But of course, he's not going to want to admit that.
So we, of course, run the risk of getting all three together and them having like some Wonder Twin or Wonder Triplet powers or something like that. So just
definitely a possibility, yeah.
Be on the lookout for that.
At least, from my understanding, Erroneous is on our side. Anyway, I'm gonna hit up the bathroom real quick.
So yeah, if we could take a break for a little while, if it sounds like that's in the cards, that'd be cool with me. I got a ton of weekend work coming up, and I also think I want to try and do a little bit of traveling. So
We're gonna take a break from playing the game. What? Where are you gonna go?
kind of want to go to like Comic-Con in San Diego in July,
That sounds like fun.
stuff like that.
That's cool. I wish I could do stuff like that.
The Comic-Con's a good time. If you've never been, it's definitely a spectacle, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've been to the LA one a bunch of times. That one's been pretty fun.
I've been one time. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I'll enjoy it. Like they take over the whole city. Is just like,
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool. So yeah. No man, I don't know if you heard. I heard you saying for a second there. You were saying I was passing. You were saying you're probably going to want to take a break for a little bit.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like
It's
a
fine.
minute.
I was telling on. I don't even know where. Cause I don't know if you heard when you first logged on. My wife is pregnant now, so there's going to be a point where I'm probably have to back away from a lot of my games for some time, or maybe like change my scheduling and stuff like that. So we'll discuss that at that time. But I understand, like, so no, I'm basically agreeing with you that I might even have to do the same thing because of foreseen first circumstances, because I just might not have the same amount of time to play as often. But we'll see. I'll see how
I just want to give everybody a heads up, so it isn't.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
I like Theros, but I think I like the Waterdeep campaign a tad more.
I think what I'll do is, if we need to with the Theros, especially since we can kind of, so that we don't leave it hanging, we can kind of like maybe close this arc, and then leave them to be characters that can they can just have downtime, right? Like, so if we ever want to pick them back up or come back to them, we can. So if we need to take a break, we can do that. I mean, I'll talk to Jack as well, because if Jack wants to play and you want to keep playing Ohan, maybe we can do something and they can go off on little side quest adventures or something, you know. But you know, yeah, if you know Rick's going to be gone, because you know the group has shrank. One good thing about the group is it's gotten smaller, so that you guys get a lot more time in a game, right? So 4 people, but if it's going to shrink to 2, then probably should all take, you know, we should probably all give it a little bit of breath. You know, I agree with that. So.
Plus, I feel like Theros is a world where you can kind of take a break and let stuff happen.
And it was built to be that way. It was never meant to be like you gotta kind of complete this like overarching huge campaign to.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid I must travel to the Knicks. I shall return sometime. Goodbye.
Nice. Are you just going to Comic-Con to go? Are you just to check it out? Like, have you been before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've been yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's good stuff. I need to go again. Shoot, that'd be fun.
I've actually lived in San Diego. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought you were like local. Okay. So when you've come down, do you drive? You drive down to like for the like when you've come down and played games live with us, or like been in like Bar Louie?
No. Right now I'm in Thousand Oaks. So
you're in Thousand Oaks.
I previously lived in San Diego.
Oh, okay. You previously lived in San Diego.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I work in Thousand Oaks, so yeah, that's okay. Cool. Good stuff. All right. Let me get. I gotta finish changing up the set.
Yeah.
So I'll have to stand up here. So I'll be back.
And my only opportunity to go to Comic-Con got ruined because I was in yearbook and it was a deadline day. So I pretty much had to be there for that entirety. I was like, damn.
That sucks. There'll be more though. It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, I mean that was just mainly the opportunity I had, and that was the Seattle Comic-Con.
There's pretty much weather in every city.
Oh, my head is slowly starting to throb more.
That's not good.
Yeah. Just lay down. If I fall asleep, just wake me up.
Okay. Wake up!
I'm doing my best to stay awake. I don't think I'm gonna be much help.
If you're waking me up, you gotta do it System of a Down style.
I should guess about the time. Alright. So is our intent still to save Erroneous, or?
I'm not quite sure what's going on right now.
Okay, so if we're going to get into this fight, just try and stay behind me, okay?
He said, "Try and stay alive."
Just try and stay behind me if you can.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah.
For more than one reason.
Yeah.
Not that I think it's an issue.
That's what he throws at us.
So is it Brian where you guys are at too?
What?
Oh, is it frying where you guys are at too?
No,
Right.
today's been nice for me.
I've been in this one all day, so
It's cloudy and overcast, and it's been raining all week. Lovely, lovely Kitsap Peninsula.
oh.
Alrighty. Let's see. All right. All right. So yeah, like is everybody back? LCD's you there?
I'm back.
Okay, cool. As we double back to through the labyrinth of the Horn King, to get back to Gash. Um,
Do we take the secret passage or just double back where we went?
well, you never did you? I mean, did you find it? Not. It seems like you guys.
No,
decided-
because they both ended up at the same spot, right?
Yes.
So I guess on a cursory perception check, looking around, is there anything that says secret entrance in large spray paint neon letters?
give me a perception check or investigation check for Doth, and then what? Since he's thinking about it, and then before they go back, I will also want a con save from everyone since they're going to kind of push it and not take a rest. Worst case, if you fail, you're going to have disadvantage on ability checks until you take a long rest. And you guys are pretty strong, level 8, so it's not going to be an extremely high DC, but there's a chance you fail.
I got 13.
You're okay. So, DC 12 and up.
As I'll say, I'm 18, and everyone around me gets +4. Yay, saving throws. Somehow Paladin Aura helps you, protect you from exhaustion.
Hey, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. And so yeah, that first check usually not too difficult. If they continue on after another 8, they need to check again. It could get more difficult. Could have more consequences. So yeah, they're traveling back. I said investigation from Doth. What'd you get?
Yeah, I got a 17 on my investigation, 16 on my con save.
Okay. What you do actually find is a crack, like a crevice in the wall near the main opening of camp of filth riddens. Right there on the inside of the cave, right? It's really dark. It's off to the side. You literally have to be feeling around to find it. Right there to the left. If you were coming out the way you came to the right, but it's right there. But what you do realize, it is it's definitely small enough for a little gash to go into, and maybe even for Nazari, it would be really difficult for you and impossible for. It might open up when you get inside, but it's impossible for the Cyclops. So essentially, it's a small, tight space to try to weasel into. Even Alcides might be able to do it, but his armor's going to get pretty scraped up, depending on. But it looks like that's probably from this side. That's probably where it exits. It's like a little cavern tunnel, you know. So I don't know if you guys have any shrinking abilities or anything like that, but the one thing, I could even maybe see how Doth might be able to manage it. I don't know how the Cyclops would manage it.
I was gonna say, do we want to send Nazari down this path? Pretty much like, hey, this was the secret path Nesh normally takes between here and the entrance.
I mean, is it dark where we're at right now?
It's dark everywhere in this place, other than the
Okay,
torches.
so I mean, I can
plenty of shadows. Yeah.
I'm sure if I can crawl in, and if I need to bug out, I'll just zap out. I'm not going to zap in there, but I can zap out.
But remember, you can only travel to shadows you can see, correct?
Yeah.
So you won't be able to teleport to them, right? You would just be you would just be like teleporting your way out of there. But it's just in pitch, right? Yeah. So if you're getting chased, you literally just be chased by whatever's in that darkness down there.
I can at least just get away from it quickly if I need to.
Sure.
Also, otherwise, I mean, another thing for me is that I can also put myself out. I'd probably just like cast silence on myself when I go, just so I can be extra quiet.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do? Okay.
I'm deciding between silence or just doing darkness.
Give me the final answer. It's your choice.
I'm gonna do darkness because I'll be able to hear them.
Okay.
So once I'm 15 feet, I'll go into the crevice, and then once I'm about 15 feet or so away, I'll cast it just to protect myself.
Okay. Rolling for randoms. Okay. So, you begin to travel that tight space as the group begins to march their way through the labyrinth. Now, what I need, even though it's a pretty straight shot, Nazari, and even though I know Doth kind of knows the way because he's been mapping this and he's Minotaur, so I want advantage, just one for the entire trip, an advantage survival check from Doth, and I need one survival check from Nazari.
Rolled a 20.
Okay, guys, you guys are just not. I think there's been like one die roll under 20 tonight. It's been like 18, 19. It's been like everything's been within two points within 20.
Yeah, no, I mean it was purely the event because I first rolled an 11 and then a 20.
I can't hear you, Doc. I don't think you're not on mute, but I don't.
Doth, you're not muted, but you're mute.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that movie where it's a bunch of people crawling through these like tight caverns and then like they face all these bugs that are in the cavern and they have to squeeze away?
What do they do? That sounds familiar.
It was like a small movie from a long time ago. It completely triggered my claustrophobia. I'll try and find it. But yeah, a bunch of people who like love to go into like these like little caves.
The
like,
Descent.
and maybe
Is it all like women? It's like a team. Like it's like. Is it all? No.
there was. Yeah.
Because the movie I'm thinking
But,
of is like 5 or 6 women. They go cave diving, and then they meet these like vampire like creatures. They're not They're like they're literally like humans who have probably lived underground so long they've adapted to the dark like bats and people. But it's not like it's like a scary movie, where they're like just literally primarily like hunting them, in the dark. It's pretty.
I can imagine the pitch session with something like, "Yeah, so there's a bunch of troglodytes in this cave."
That's basically what it is. Yep, that's basically what it is. Yep, the troglodyte movie, The Descent. It's pretty good. Okay, so what'd you get, Doth? Maybe
20.
20. See, there we go. So working your way back. We both got 20.
That's what I was trying to say before. So sounds.
So working your way through these caverns without issue. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's just surprising as like they come out on the exact same time. Pretty much. Like, hey, like is when Doth is like beginning to exit the cavern. So are you, and there's that pile of heads still there. Now where you left Gash, because you did untie him, you don't see him. The Cyclops is kind of huffing. He's so big, and he's kind of has been hunched down the entire time. There, as tall as he is, inside of that cavern, and he looks around and goes, "All right, so where's he supposed to be?" Erroneous is quite quiet as you all look around.
Let's see. Well, I'm assuming we left some blood in a little pool where I knocked him out or something like that.
Yeah. So give me a little investigation check of the area, Doth.
Go. I got no idea.
4. Okay. So you're looking around. He's like, where could he have gone? And
Why am I always looking for people I don't want to find?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so the Cyclops seems to be getting impatient. Like, I should have known. 4 hours of travel. That it's not like this. He was going to stick around.
As I'm investigating, I'm trying to move so that the Cyclops, the Cliff, and myself are sort of lined up.
Okay.
And then I'm going to open up the Darren's Instant Fortress with the intent of pushing him over the cliff, using its expansion.
With where he's standing now, to give you an idea of the cliff here. If this is, you guys don't have to be in these exact positions, but I imagine you've just exited. This is the Cyclops.
Yeah.
He's at least 40 feet away from. This is the cliff.
No. That's exactly what I want, because I'm going to open up the Darren's Instant Fortress so that it pushes him over.
You're going to open the fortress. Got it. But if you open it, so you're going behind him and opening the fortress.
Yes.
Okay, to his backside. And
I warned them beforehand that they should be behind me. So
okay,
hopefully they got that message. I'm not sure about Erroneous, though. I don't know if he was included in that discussion.
Was he told?
I leave that up to LCD.
Yes, he's part of that discussion.
Okay.
And he is with his two. Sorry to put his Minotaur, but bodyguards beside him. Okay, so here's this great plan, but it seems like there is a chance for this character to notice this as you're all like kind of dropping to his backside. That could look pretty obvious if it's done in the if it's not done in the right way.
Well, that's what I'm investigating.
Right. So why don't you all give me investigating I'll give you advantage. But everyone needs to give me a stealth check because even though Doth is leading what he's about to do, everyone needs to successfully kind of not catch the perception of this of the guy. Or the Minotaurs are pretty dumb-witted, and the Cyclops is probably not the smartest, but he still gets a roll. Let's see what you all get.
Indy, Mion is reloading.
Oh shit. Is that the first roll, Doth, or is that the second one?
It's a straight roll. We have disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Got it.
I got a 16, so not too hot either.
I got 17.
Nazari should have hit us with that passed out trace.
Oh yeah.
And so with the way I rolled though, it's still so the Cyclops kind of turns to Doth and goes, "What are you doing? Why are you standing behind me?" But still doesn't like lash out. So there's still enough moments there where Doth, "What do you do?" He's,
I say the command word for the tower, throw it down in the corner, so it springs up and goes that way.
There's this like blast goes out. Everyone, I'm not even gonna make you checks. You're all like leveled. You're all prone, right? Like as this thing goes back, and this thing grows to full size. You see, I still have it over here. So, well, I'm gonna have these. All the stack of heads go flying everywhere. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Go flying everywhere, and I'm gonna make it a DC 20 deck save for these guys to not like literally just go flying off the edge. They don't get and at disadvantage rolls for them. So let's see, 2 Minotaur 1 deck save. They both fail, so they will be blown over the edge. So there's like and you hear this cackling, and then the main Cyclops, he has a deck save. Oh my gosh, he's not gonna survive this unless he gets a nat 20. So he goes, he just gets like, blown off. He's like, no, like slow motion.
Say the command word to reverse the growth of the citadel back into hand size.
It's
Put it back in my pocket. Turn around.
And then you hear like a and when it goes down, you see a blood smear from where all of the there's a blood smear from where all of the heads were, because like the heads were stacked in the corner. That thing grew as big as they were.
Was he hiding under them?
Little Gash was sleeping under the heads, and he's leaning up against and he's cut in half, like he was pinned. And he doesn't have time to say anything, and he just like goes limp. Poor guy. He just got. I mean, that's literally where I had him sleeping. He was under the heads. He was under, so the thing just expanded like on top of him. Just like, I mean, would have just either would have dragged him or would have cut him up. So, yeah.
No oracle for you.
So, now here's the thing: the sound of that thing going out, you suddenly hear this howl from like that deep, and you hear this like, and from within that cavern, out jumps this. Looks like the back end body is a goat. The front end seems to have human-like clawed hands, and it. I know you can't see its face because the horns are green, so with the green screen, it's making them kind of Nixish. But it's like a giant bull, sheep, wolf thing. Its eyes are glowing green. It has bloodlust in its eyes, and there's a blood smear from all the heads and the bodies from the fortress, and it kind of starts to lap up some of that, and then starts to kind of like pat the ground like it's going to rush, and then it goes rushing forward directly towards the group. Roll initiative. Great way to kill the Cyclops. Oh, that was great.
It'll be a 10 for initiative.
CDs with a 10.
Little,
And
little sad over Nash's death. That was
I know, like I was
unexpected.
like, oh, I just couldn't go back on it. Like that's where it was a DM move. I was like, that's where he was. That there's no way. There was like literally no way to tell that story where he got out of that. He was like sleeping right under that pile.
You could have said he kind of dug a little trench under the pile.
I rolled a die for him. I rolled a deck save. He failed. I just didn't. When I rolled it, I didn't share that I was rolling his as well. But I rolled one for everybody, and he just outright failed. Like he didn't see it coming. So. Yeah. Nazari, what'd you get?
It's these sort of things that raise all sorts of questions of morality. I mean, should you not feel bad? I mean, it wasn't necessarily intentional, but I don't really, per se, disagree with the results.
Yeah, I know that it's kind of Doth ended up getting the result he probably would have wanted from the get-go for a little bit. Yeah.
I'll see he's kind of looking at Doth like, we are never doing that again.
Glory to the Oshar.
Just waiting on you, Nazari.
Oh shit.
Oh, you're muted.
Hi. All right. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can do.
Oh no, I just want your initiative. I didn't get your initiative roll.
Oh, you didn't. Sorry, I was muted. 17.
Okay, that was what it was. Sorry. Yeah. So let's go ahead and. Oh, give me a second. I gotta take a bunch of combatants out because they are all dead. Aronis is still there with you. Those guys are gone. That guy's gone.
And like right before this thing charges, I'll see you just kind of put a hand on his shoulder and be like, this is where we fight together.
To Aronis?
Yep.
Yep.
Or
okay.
the Eye of Death.
He gives you and you get a feeling he still kind of responds to Aronis. Like you get a feeling that like when he's like Aronis is dead, he was definitely saying that because you guys were talking. You had yelled that out in the cavern in front of the Blood Eye, so he was trying to be as safe as possible.
Yeah. Plus, he didn't call out and say, "Hey, Aronia." So you still call Aronis. He says, "What is your name now?" Because he had a feeling
got it.
some
Yeah, and he
things
says
had
the
changed.
Eye of Death. Yep.
Hashtag ruining your cliche.
All right, so Nazari is up with the highest, and oh no, I didn't roll for mine. Hold on, let me roll for my bad
Okay.
And I gotta get some villains with some better decks, some better initiatives.
Okay. I'm just gonna charge this thing.
Yeah, you are. Sorry, it's if I'm not Nazari, then Doth, then the creature, then Alcides. And I'm gonna play Aronis kind of in the background. He'll still help, but I'm not gonna like give him to you guys to like control kind of deal. Yeah. So Nazari, you are up.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna charge and just try to go at it with my short sword.
All right.
I got a 16 to hit.
Okay. 16 does not hit. So you go swinging in, and it just lifts its big foot. You see how small you are, and then you just miss as you rush in.
Well, then I'm gonna flip around and try again.
And
That's 22 to hit for my second attack.
okay, 22. Second attack. That one. So what's your damage?
8.
8 damage. Okay, so you hit that second one for 8 slashing.
And then I'd like to spend 1 key point to try and stun it.
And is your weapon magical?
Yes.
Okay, so he takes the 8 slashing and you're gonna try to stun it.
Yeah, it's a DC 13 con.
All right.
I just give it a shot.
It is going to pass with a 19.
Okay. For my bonus action, can I spend another key point to use Step of the Wind? Does that can I like disengage with that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Can I step outside of its range as far as I can?
And we'll just, how Calyx is always somewhere high up just shooting arrows at this thing. Narratively. Usually what I do is every turn roll a minor dice to pick away at the monster's hit points to kind of account for him being there.
He's probably praying to Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. So you were doing. Oh, so you're just disengaging, right?
I was gonna disengage from him as far away as I can,
Okay.
and that would completely end my turn because that would be my bonus action, I believe.
Got it. Yep, you got it. And then so as you do that, Doth, you are up.
But I'm going to pop like a piece of licorice into the shadow of my teeth, hold it like a cigarette, put my finger at Alcides. Suddenly you feel like your heart sort of like jolt in your chest as like energy begins to surge through your pounding heart, radiating through your body, and like this like warm, tingly, like all of your muscles get tense, and you just feel like you're a coiled sprung ready to burst into action. You've got a haste spell, so +2 to your AC, advantage on your deck saves, and an additional attack on each of your turns. You can use the attack to make a weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. When the spell's done, you're going to get a wave of lethargy. So I always forget that part. DM, that would be a good thing to remember.
Yeah, thank you.
And then for my action, movement is going to be to go ahead and go back into that little cave entrance over there.
Okay. He's going inside of there.
Yeah, just like hopefully out of...
Like standing inside of it. Like right
I kind of want to take cover in case it's got like a breath weapon or something like that. It's kind of my main concern. So.
It's, I mean, I can have you like go as far down the hall as your movement would allow, because while it's like there's no like cover, but it's just it's a very clean hall, right?
That's fine. I'll back up as far as I can. Try and maintain line of sight so I can shoot.
Yep. So you're like 30 feet down that dark hall, peering out. Got it. Okay.
As a bonus action. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say. And now, the Oshiri fight.
And so, Aronis like looks at Alcides and his eyes kind of crackle, and he kind of like flicks his hands out, and this bolt of light kind of comes down from the stalagmites kinetic energy, just boom, 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 like lightning bolts, just bam, 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 and they slam across, running right into the creature. The creature needs to make a dex save. It fails it, and he hits it dead on, delivering 23 points of lightning damage. And after Erroneous does that, he will begin to kind of climb up the side of the cavern and try to get some high ground to get away from this creature, because he knows, like, it's got these, he clearly sees it's got these huge tusks, it's got dual horns, I know it's hard to see on the miniature, but like 2 sprouting out on each side, so 4 horns total around its head, kind of aiming at whatever it goes rushing at. He gets up to that
horn.
yes, quad horn. And then that ends his Erroneous's turn, and then the creature takes its turn and rushes in, charging insanely towards Alcides. And it just kind of leaps forward. And if it moves more than 15 feet when it hits, gore attack. Okay, so it's going to roll. I don't think that's going to hit you.
Currently sitting at 22.
Nope, misses. So you're able to leap out of the way as these quad horns kind of slam into the wall. I mean, that would have been a crap ton of damage as it creeps, as its head is kind of stuck there for a second. But it takes those 2 human, unlike a bull with hooves, takes those 2 human hands and plants them against the wall and rips those quad horns away, and then swings with one of its like clawed hands towards little Nazari. I can't believe I missed that attack. That was terrible. That was a really low roll. Should have hit. That hits little Nazari for a 32.
32 to hit?
To hit. 32 to hit, not 32 damage. Damage will be 12. 12 bludgeoning damage.
I think it's the first time it's like rolled a hit was higher than its actual damage.
Yeah, it's rolled a hit. Its roll to hit is insane. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy that I missed that attack when I rushed at Alcides. And then it kind of then it turns violently and kicks out with one of its hooves towards little Nazari again. It doesn't matter which way it's facing, but it's just kind of like turning that way to kick back, and it's gonna kick it for 22, and so little Nazari goes flying, slams against the wall, his little chest hurting for another 18 bludgeoning damage. The creature is done. It is Alcides' turn.
Alrighty. I got a plan. Bonus action, I'm gonna channel divinity for peerless athletes. So my carrying capacity is doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, it is currently Oh yeah, it's under equipment or inventory.
Okay.
Carrying capacity is now 480 times 2.
Okay.
I can lift up to 960 pounds.
Okay.
But first I'm gonna charge forward and make 3 attacks? Yeah, 3 attacks.
Alright.
Alrighty. And all these attacks are with the spear. Not
Okay.
using the sunblade at the moment.
Okay.
That'll be... Come on. Alright, so spear is a +7 to hit. So a 17 for the lowest roll to hit. And then 2 23s.
Miss. And then a 22, you said?
23. 2 of
23
them.
hits, of course, yeah. So now, as you guys have hit it a couple times, the AC is 19.
So that'll be 11 and 10 piercing damage, magical.
11 and 10 piercing. Okay, takes it. So 21, right?
Yep, 21 piercing total.
As it gets stabbed back. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, and then it legendary leaps without taking any opportunity of attack up to the ridge. Like there's a little, pretty much. I know I can't depict it, but the ledge that looks like a bullhead, it leaps up there and crashes down and is looking down on. And actually, I wrote that, and the way I create this creature, it should do it without. But, in this, I can imagine you still have this chance. It just, create this creature where it just moves so violently. It's like a giant bull. I'll still give you opportunity attacks, but I think opportunity attacks are done at disadvantage instead of not being able to take them at all. Fair. So Alcides, if you haven't used a reaction, you can take an opportunity attack.
Nope.
Okay.
That's 14.
So it just like you just use this ledge action to move around, so it just leaps up there and slams down. Alcides is done. Calyx is firing his, so he does a little bit, shoots it with one of his arrows. It takes some more damage. Top of round 2 here. Nazari.
Okay. I'm gonna run farther away from it. And then I am gonna fire my guiding bolt.
All right. So you're running like, I imagine, like 5, 10, 15, 20, like a... Well, I don't know if you want... This is towards the edge, but how far... it's up there now.
I understand. This is the edge there. Okay.
Yeah, so anything you see here is like the edge, right? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How about...
This is like a walk. So, like, if you... There's like a pathway. Also, you know what? I'll do this to make it more like board game like. It makes it easier to see if I go to this view. So you can kind of see what your environment looks like, right? So...
I get you. So with the pedal where a Calyx is standing, but like to take cover from the creature itself, maybe move there instead, and then fire from there, like fire from cover in a way.
Okay, say that one more time. I'm sorry, I was.
Okay, so where Calyx is standing.
You going where Cal? Oh, right there. Yes.
Yeah, to cover myself against.
Yes,
creature.
you could do that. Like right
and
around
then
there.
Fire my guiding bolt from there.
Absolutely, makes sense.
Okay. Got a 14 to hit.
14 misses.
All right, and then I'm gonna do bonus action, Shield of Faith on Achilles. Achilles is there?
On Alcides?
Achilles.
You got it. Shield of Faith.
+2 to AC. For 10 minutes.
Jeez, this guy. All right. So as you boost Alcides' overall protection, by the way, what does that look like as it forms over him?
So with Nazari, I would basically just kneel down and touch my own shadow, and then from underneath him, the shadow would crawl up his legs and kind of just facet into his own armor, and just to add that extra protection just around him.
Got it. Awesome. Doth, you're inside that hovel, and you can hear a bit of like when you hear it slam down, little sediments of rock kind of like crumble on your head as you realize it's kind of like right above you on the outside. What do you do?
I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt, or hold an action to cast Guiding Bolt as soon as I can see it.
Okay. So he holds his action, casts that Guiding Bolt. Erroneous.
I don't know if you cast and leave off the last word, or you wait till you see it, then you cast, or how you do your...
That's fine. Yeah, as soon as you see it, you cast. Is basically so when it moves into your vision, you'll cast. Is the way I treat it. Then Erroneous will fire. He's out of that. He can't do the lightning again. So then he. Cast a magic missile at it. Higher level, so 4d4.
Damn. We're gonna have to stop.
So doing 15 points of damage to the creature. All these like bursts of flashes of light come out of his hand and fly into the creature's hide. And then he just begins running, is like trying to get down here behind Alcides, hoping this thing doesn't come for him. That leaves him up for the creature. The creature is between Aronis and Alcides, so I take it was just going to go at Alcides as it leaps down to gore. It's going to make its gore attack. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How do you roll in single digits with a plus modifier like this? Like, this thing should, like... It does not hit again. As somehow Alcides is able, his shield goes up, and one of those corns glances off the side as it slips. He goes under the creature, and it goes over, gallops over his head. Those four horns slam into the ground, kicking up a shit ton of, leaving a crater as it whips its head out. And then
it's not used to something standing toe-to-toe with it.
Yeah, then it whips with his fist, and then its hoof. Both these are all Alcides, no one else is around, so that's another non-hit. And then the hoof for 28, finally scoring a hit with the hoof, kicking Alcides back for... for 21 bludgeoning damage, and Alcides needs to give me a strength saving throw to not be knocked prone. I forgot to do that with Nazari. I described it, but I didn't actually have you do it. Didn't make much difference. You hop.
That'll be a dirty 20.
All right, so he's just prone. Just gets knocked over as it kicks at him. Also, I would argue I'll still keep all that, but I argue that Doth, you can see it. So you can make your attack.
I fire.
Is it a save? Oh, okay, you're shooting. There you go.
No, it's
guiding. It's guiding bolt.
Yeah, let's roll to hit. Can I use inspiration?
Do you have one?
I think so.
If you have one,
It's on
then
my
yes.
sheet.
I imagine, yeah. If you have one inspiration, then you can use your inspiration, yeah. And then once you use it, everybody should be able to have one inspiration at a time. So yeah. Go ahead. Let's see what the second one hit does.
Okay. Fire. After all of that, and like,
I feel so bad for your system the way it rolls dice, Rick. It's just, we gotta just get you. Do you like rolling that way over your regular dice?
no, it's really just so that I'm playing above the board.
Yeah, I get it, and I appreciate that, but don't feel like, honestly, man, I don't make anybody. I wouldn't have anybody go through that excruciating. It makes you wait like 5 minutes for like a 4. It's like,
I know. Well, it like sits there and it like floats and
Yeah.
it balances.
Dude.
Just sort of like sits there.
Dude, okay. Like, me as a DM, I experience it all the time, but I'm the DM. I can deal with 3s. Like, these that's pretty much what I've been doing with this creature. It's got like a plus 13, and it's like 4. What? Not gonna hit LCD with that. All right. So if you're done, then we move. I don't know if you're staying there in the hall, then just kind of waiting for another. Yep. Doth is done, and then this is going pretty quick because now we're back on Erroneous. He will. What will he do? He spends time buffing his like AC. He's trying to like save himself, so he hides behind this. Actually, he runs. Oh no, that's probably dangerous. He's too close, so he goes he's running towards Nazari, or where he thinks Nazari is, and he's boosting his armor class. He's putting a mage armor on, which he should have done a long time ago, but he's doing it now. And then the creature has Alcides on the ground, so I doubt it's distracted enough to go after her. So it just tries to go in and like gore Alcides on the ground. Gets advantage because he's prone.
Wait, I thought it already gored me.
Oh no,
That's why I was prone.
Yes, it's we're already back at its turn, right?
I never got my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I somehow skipped you because. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I know what here's what I did. Doth held his action. After his action, I went back to thinking Doth had just went. So that's what it is. Yes, it's your turn, Alcides.
Alright, stand up.
So just scratch. Aronis is still here and has not cast mage actions to stand up. Yes, that's where we're at.
Alrighty. So stand up. That takes half movement.
Half your movement. Mm-hmm.
Even while hasted. Half movement.
I don't know about with haste. You can read. I don't. Does it change anything with haste? I think it always takes half movement unless haste says anything otherwise. I mean, I can see how that would make it different, but if the rules say it's half your movement.
I mean, if you're dashing, you're going twice as far, but it's still
yeah.
Yeah,
so you because you still have a high, so which means that you can stand up and still go 60 feet.
Just 40.
Oh, just 40. Okay.
Because I have 40 movement speed, it's doubled to 80. So.
Yeah. So you took half your movement. So yeah, you still got to get up, but it's that's still pretty fun. Unless it says otherwise, that's the way I would rule it.
It doesn't really say, to be honest.
Then if it doesn't say in haste, then I imagine it's still half. Standing up always takes half your movement. So if your movement is 200 feet, you have 100 feet left when you stand up. Because I have a player in my other THEROS game that has 200 feet movement every round, and it's stupid. Like the Tabaxi.
It's stupid until you cast spike growth, and he has to run across 200 feet of spikes.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna have to do
Anyway, I'm gonna cast enhance ability on myself, choosing Bull Strength.
Ooh, I like it.
Doubling my carrying capacity again and giving me advantage on athletics and strength checks. Or no, just advantage on strength checks.
Okay.
And doubling my carrying capacity again. That's at 1,920 pounds to be lifted.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna try pick this thing up.
Everything I hate about 5th edition. Like, all right, athletics check to athletics check. You got it. So I do have a piece of pretty nasty. Okay. You're at. Because you can clearly pick it up, but I imagine it's a creature that's moving, so you're just trying to get it Superman style. So it's still an athletics to athletics. I'll even give you. Well, would I give you advantage? You can already do something. I don't know if that makes it easier for you.
I mean, I have advantage on strength. So, I have.
Oh, if you have advantage already, then
athletics
then
from
that's
THEROS
fine.
athlete.
Then there you go. They got a straight 30 on its roll on its straight. Actually, no, it should be less. I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong stat. It would have been.
I only got a 25.
24. So you got a 25?
Yep.
That's one. That beats it. So you are. So pretty much what I have to treat this as is you're picking it up, but pretty much what you're doing is you're grappling. Which, see, here's the thing where the rules are, because creatures this big, you probably can't grapple. So, but you beat it, and I allowed you to try it, so I'm kind of, my head is torn with it. But yes, you're able to kind of grapple this creature, lift it up over your head so that it's writhing, its things are, its limbs are moving, and now you're walking with it. Now I would treat your movement at delete this as though you're moving over difficult terrain as you're like carrying this thing towards the edge. But you've got it grappled.
Yep. Alright, I got 40 feet of movement, so it's difficult terrain. That's still 20.
20. So you got it right there. Yep, over the edge. What are you doing with it?
If it's at the edge, toss forward.
So you're like 10 feet away from the edge. So when I imagine since you can lift, you can probably throw at least that. So you're pushing off, letting it go.
Actually, there is a separate stat for throwing.
What's your throwing?
Oh wait, there's carrying capacity and then push, drag, lift. Thought there was something for throwing.
Nothing for shot but monster.
I mean, unless you want to look that up, I don't want to slow the game down to do that. So, but if you're trying to throw it, what I will say is the thing will, as it goes over the edge, it's going to try to try to grab on if it can. So why don't you give me an athletics? What this is to see how strong you can throw it out away from the cliff, and how hard it is for it to try to grab on and hold on and keep itself up. So it rolled the exact same thing it got last time.
Oh well, I rolled a 23, so it's.
I know mechanics-wise, you could make it an improvised attack with the monster against the ground.
Against the air.
What are you doing? So what I'll say is, here's what it is. It's got by 1, so literally 24 to your 23. It is caught and it's holding on by 1 claw, and it's like kind of that claw is dangling off the side, and it's like roaring. A little push could do it, but it's still there. I imagine you have nothing. You're done, Alcides?
That's it.
Yep. So he's standing there. Calyx still pelts it with another arrow, so it takes some damage. It's still looking very strong. Top of the round, Nizari. I know you're kind of weakened here. You see the claw hanging over the edge. You see the creature trying to grasp to get the other claw to hold on.
Yeah.
The black deep is below. What do you do?
I see that, and then I'm just charging and going for the hand to try so that he can just drop it. Yeah. 18 to hit.
That's gonna miss. I'll give you advantage because it's essentially like it's prone because it has no. So you get advantage, but you still gotta hit it.
So then this time I got a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
Yeah. So then I rolled 6 damage, and then I will do a flurry of blows. Let me just do those 2. The first one is gonna miss.
Okay.
The second one is gonna hit to 17 plus 7.
Yeah.
24. That's 5 damage with that one. And then now I'm gonna do my second attack.
Okay.
So then that is 26 to hit.
Yep.
And I'm gonna take full advantage. So that's 10 damage with my short sword.
Okay.
And then another key point to flurry of blows again. I'll do those 2 quick. The first one I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
That's double damage or 2 rolls?
Just roll your double your dice is the way we play it, and then add your modifier. That's the.
All right. That's 8 damage with that one.
Okay.
And then it's 25 to hit my last attack with another 6 damage.
How do you?
What
does your flurry incompletion look like as it loses its grip and before it tumbles into the darkness?
So,
right?
so Nazari is gonna do one of those legendary right, and then hit the hand and then staple the hand to the ground. He's gonna be like, "Oh, whoops!" He's gonna pull the sword from the ground. And he's gonna start stomping on it like this.
And it lets go and tumbles away. And as it screams, you have a feeling like wherever it tumbled to, clearly a long way down, you have a feeling it probably didn't kill it. Like it wouldn't die hitting the ground necessarily, but it definitely would either take too long to come back up, or you have clearly hurt its pride, its overall ferocity. If it's hungry, it can probably find plenty other things to kill.
Two Cyclopses and a Minotaur, or
Yeah.
one Cyclops and two
And,
Minotaurs at the bottom.
The Goristro is gone.
Goristro.
Restro, cool.
Make a note of that in my
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah. He still had 214 hit points when he fell, but yeah.
Oh, I can see why you're hurting when he made those two combinations.
If I would have hit my goring rush, which I missed, it missed twice. If it hits, in addition to the regular damage it does, it's 7d10 to the strike. So
I keep this in
amazing.
mind for the future when I need to polymorph into something.
Which is on average in 38 damage per goring rush. So long as it has 15 feet, moves into you, it gets that 7d10 damage.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn to our good friend here and
And that's in addition to its whatever. Oh yeah, sorry. Continue. In whatever damage it does before that. So go ahead, Rick.
So I'd like to discuss your selection of spells. I'm kind of tired, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I could definitely eat. What do you say?
Oh, to Erroneous?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't study these spells. I can try to teach. They manifested in me because he is a sorcerer, right? So like these things just like were bestowed upon him. He's been in the past week. He's been able to do these things, and he almost describes them as like he's like that lightning. He's like I was afraid. I was angry, and I thought of lightning. And so here's what I'll say, Doth, is because he's not a wizard like that, you might have to keep him around longer to
Yeah, I was really just interested in knowing what he could cast.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he can. So he goes with, he basically tells you he can cast. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I'll say he's also like fall to his knees after that haste ends, as his muscles all cramp from that
Dude.
incredible feat.
So
So Alcides, what do you think of this spell?
he tells you he can cast. So he can cast. Clearly, he can cast lightning bolt. He has Misty Step,
Magic missile.
Yep. Shield.
Mage armor.
Mage armor. Minor illusion. Ray of Frost, and he didn't actually do it, but he has greater invisibility.
Oh, sweet.
And
Okay.
that is it. So all of those are what he knows. So take note. And I imagine, yes, if you were to like keep him around your camp and have him do the spells for you, you could probably kind of try to learn them, Doth. Just like downtime and. Oh, go
I
ahead.
also like to know what the pieces on the board are capable of.
Pieces on the board are what?
Capable of.
Sorry, the last part I keep missing what you're saying.
Oh, I just wanted to know what he could do so I could plan accordingly.
Yeah. So now you know. Yep. Got it. So yeah, the party is here, alive and well, and literally just manhandled a just manhandled a what kind of creature?
Baristos.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the challenge rating of this creature metagame wise is
19.
pretty insane.
It's a 19.
It's a 19 CR rating.
19.
CR 17 rating creature just mollywopped it and threw it off the cliff. So yeah.
Exile Ironis.
Yeah. Hopefully I have. Hopefully I'm proving myself.
17, yeah.
That was
Indeed.
small. Where did you get such a powerful fortress?
Some questions just won't be answered for you right now.
What I'll say here is you are all, because the way I look at this is you've concluded what you've come for. The way I look at it is as strong as you are, Doth has a map way clearly out. You can leave. Scophos. You can go back and look for your guy that's supposed to pick you up. Now, Erroneous, in passing, I'll imagine in that... This is something you guys can all decide. Calyx is not here. It was something I was going to share through Erroneous if he was going to find his way in the party like this. But Erroneous is just in passing and talking about Scophos. He talks about way back that way, past the camp, the next section of the labyrinth being like dedicated to one of Mogus's... Basically, Mogus always, like, every so often, until that champion dies, he chooses a chosen, and it's one Minotaur that you can always, like, this will always be there that runs in a labyrinth by itself. And it is a very strong Minotaur, and the one that runs that labyrinth now happens to have, sees all, can be everywhere, hits like lightning and leaves, but it has a crystal eye. It pretty much has its eye is inside of a crystal shell, so you know
we should
Calyx,
definitely leave. We should
yeah, you know
go.
Calyx was looking for that.
We should just
Check that out.
So he has no say here. He's not here. He has no say there. But he was going to share. If he would have been here, that would have been shared, and I'm sure it's shared now. So you guys can, yeah. But
I feel like if you want it, you can go and get that.
So we'll share it with him next time. Him realizing that he can't do it alone, he'll probably leave. I mean, of course, he'll have to leave.
I don't know. He left the party once.
That's true. I'll leave that up to him.
Maybe that's why he wasn't here for this fight. He heard about that at the camp. He was like, "Oh, I'm getting that."
Yeah, maybe we'll just wait to see if he's coming to the next game or not.
Yeah. And so, I mean, in a weird way.
Also,
go ahead.
I was gonna, after that fight, I hand over the spear +1 that I have to Erroneous.
Nice.
Be like,
he goes. For a minute, he's almost gonna ask, like, "What's this for?" But then he recalls, like, what he was supposed to be to you, and the path you had originally put him on. And he kind of just nods and takes it. I imagine that this is a moment where you are exiting the labyrinth, and it's early morning, like the sun is just cresting, just coming up. The dust is settled. It's not like the winds are picked up in this like desert lands, and it's quiet. There's no violence around. Of course, it still reeks of death. It still smells like death here in these Badlands, but you are out. Because, of course, you guys could have flown over the cavern gap, so there's no reason to go through all that. Maybe this is a chance to decide where they go from here, where they take their... I know we were talking a little bit metagame-wise about possibly even taking a break here, so, like, in these last moments, in this last scene, maybe are there any... What does the party do after this with Erroneous free? What are their plans,
I like to say, just for a scenic event, just kind of tap Erroneous on the shoulder, like arm around, and be like, "There's much more for this world to see," as the flying chariot comes to pick us up.
I'll cast fly myself. Well, that is true, but I'm afraid that for now, it's going to have to be without me. I'm going to investigate something. It's something I need to do alone. I'd tell you about it, but I prefer no one knows. I know how to get a hold of you, and you know how to get a hold of me. So I'll see you in the future. Stay safe and train hard.
We shall.
And, Doth, this intellectual Minotaur warrior, takes off, leaving those, as the air bursts away as he flies, the imprint of his hooves here in Scophos, a place he was born into, but in a way, the place that he has defied, because, kind of defying the way people have seen him as a Minotaur his entire life, and has come back and, done at least what he planned to do with his party, at least up until this point. And like he said, whatever he's going off to do, heads there now. Zari, Alcides.
Nazari will probably ask Alcides if he can join along so he can see more of the countryside.
I see no problem with it. You sit in darkness. Aronius is connected with Erebos. I shall be the guiding light.
I'll be like, sounds good, my friend.
Then just puts an arm around Aronius and Nazari. They walk towards the chariot.
Yeah, the chariot is there to pick you up. Those Pegasi ready to take flight. I'm looking for his name. I think it was Milikos, but Milkos, the soldier who flies for you.
I got him somewhere.
Yeah, I hate when I can't find what I'm looking for. I should probably look for Pegasi. And but it's kind of bittersweet as they leave, here now. Is Alcides heading back to Akros for now? And wait, and it sounds like did I miss that? Is Erroneous and is Nazari getting on with them? You guys are okay. And so are you guys heading to Akros?
Yep, kind of report on all the happenings. Erroneous can explain what he knows. Kind of
How's Nazari
set up for the
feeling?
war that is to come.
Yeah. How is Nazari feeling with this? Kind of this how much different is this world from like what he expected to? It seems to be just as dark, right, to some degree.
Yeah. So far, he's honestly, he's been pretty comfortable with the environment per se. But he did see that one little flash of the light side of the world. But man, he is stoked that he gets to go to Alcides to see like the bright side of everything. And I'd say that he may be a little anxious in it, but he's excited right now.
Yeah, awesome. And so the chariot takes off, and instead of flying kind of off in those Pegasi to the sunset, it's into the sunrise, which kind of symbolizes the possibilities of a new day and a new dawn for Theros. Theros is clearly not out of the hot water that it's in, what world ever is, but this group has done their part. They've staked their claim. People know the Fleecemayne Lion Company down in Melitus, even though they weren't ever much of a company, but they know what the sacrifice. They know people have been saved by this group, and maybe we get to see them travel the world again, but for now they make their separate ways in the world, and I'm sure hopefully they are happy with where they've gone, and maybe the gods are too. And we'll kind of fade to white as they kind of fly off towards the sunset. We'll end our session here for tonight. Good game, guys.
And, so fun, man.
So I think that's it's a good place to end it. It's a good place to see with this group. They've been through a lot, so bittersweet. Whenever they want to pick it up, they're always welcome to. And in our post-credit scene, we see a minotaur stalking the labyrinth, and it steps to the corner of the wall, hunting its prey, sniffing, and as it turns and looks down the hall, there's another large minotaur standing there. And then the minotaur looks a bit concerned as its image flickers, and Calyx decides to go the other way. And we'll end it there. As he's gone back looking for his eye.
He doesn't necessarily have to kill the Minotaur, he just needs to jack its eye real quick.
Yeah, he's the final way to jack the eye, so he's like down there. look. I can't imagine he's not down there looking for it. So we'll end it there. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, that was fun. We got to do Scophos. Fun. So yeah, whenever if you guys ever want to on Discord, you ever want to get this game back, just let me know, and we'll work it out. So
yeah, I'm gonna be down for a couple months for sure. So
that's fine. Yeah, let's do it. That's fine with me too.
I'll always be ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my schedule's more free now, but
Okay.
I think it's actually kind of perfect because I was gonna try starting a live game anyway. So this will.
Yeah, man, gives you time to run some games of yourself, be a DM yourself, do your thing.
Yeah.
Are they friends at home who are like getting into the game or?
So a friend that I was really close with, we lost contact for 10 years, and we reconnected. And he divorced his wife, who was like abusive and all this crazy shit.
Wow.
And I told him that I'd do this with you, and I sent him some pictures, and he already made his character. And his daughter, 18, already made her character. I guess her boyfriend wants to join in too, so I'm gonna do the Nightblade with them.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
and it's great to do your other games because you get to like try them, work things out that you did because you sent a Nightblade because that's the first one you did, right?
Very first one, yeah. So since then I've mostly done Star Wars, but
yeah,
it's gonna be nice to get back to just a one shot and time it right this time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my head's killing me now, so I'm gonna get off.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm glad we finished at a decent time for you too tonight because
this is great.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'll let you know I forgot the way you played tonight that you were dealing with that, dude. So I hope you feel better soon.
Like
I said, I dumped all my stats in Constitution.
All right, brother.
Well, let us know how you are later on.
Vitamins and sunshine.
Yeah, drink some more, keep the fluids flowing, and have a good one. Yeah.
Well, Malcolm, I'm still finishing up your paintings, but I'll definitely make the prints and make sure you get them.
Oh, dude, like you said, you're an artist. They're your paintings, man. Whenever, if we ever get to see them done, we get to see them done. The way I look at it, But I love the way when you do share, sometimes you update them. It's always a refreshing to be like, oh shit, look how that's coming across. It looks so good,
All right, guys, I gotta start my Father's Day.
Oh yeah, I hate
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, man.
I'll see you guys soon.
See you, man. Yeah, were you about to share something, Doth?
Oh
Rick?
yeah, I get
so cool. Yeah.
I'll put it up on the Discord.
Okay, on Discord. Yeah, cool. But no, yeah, that's fine. We'll just, totally fine with taking a little. It actually kind of works out because, I've been doing more now that the wife is pregnant. It's I'm running around all the time.
Oh, your life is no longer yours.
Oh yeah, it's. I'm slowly watching it, and so we're doing December, so that's the tunnel. I can see that light. And it's a light. It's gonna be beautiful, but I can also see all of this being okay.
Oh no! That's when the fun really starts.
That's exactly.
So get in as much sleep as you can now, because for the next 6 months or so after that, it's.
I know, man. So cool, but yeah, please share that. Enjoy all you do, Comic-Con, whatever. Whenever you guys want to get back. If it's not even this game, you guys want to get back to, or you want to do just one shots every now and then. I'll be down.
I still want to play. It's just I got random shit. Next week I get to learn how to drive a forklift.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. So
we'll keep in touch. We'll still be all talking, and the group on Wednesdays I'm gonna try to keep doing. I'm gonna try to do some more chats and stuff on Zoom at least, or have some meetups.
That hangout where we were doing art and stuff. That was
the
fun
hangout.
Too.
Yeah. I'll try
to. It's
kind of
no pressure. Don't really have to prepare for it.
You don't have to prepare for a game. I'll try to get some of those when I get. This will allow me to have more time to do that if we slow down and take a couple months off, because I won't be planning the games as much. So I'm down for that.
Well, you definitely need those extra cycles for.
I agree. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, cool. Well, have a good night.
Yeah, too.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks again for running all these and setting up the community.
Hey, man, I appreciate you continuing to come to them, and hopefully they have been beneficial. Hopefully you've had fun. That's
definitely. I wish I could devote more of my energy to.
We all do. Yeah, we.
For now, I'm gonna go to sleep and hopefully
Yeah.
wake up on Monday.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.